The Bulls take on the Pistons, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Chicago's -1, totals 234.5. We're 3-0 in our last three Gold Club plays on my premium page. The Bulls are 6-4 on the year. Detroit's 9-2. Pistons have won their last 7 straight. They're red hot right now. They've done a nice job offensively in their own building this year. They're scoring over 120 points a game at home, leading the league in offensive boards on their own court. Jaren Durant doesn't boards per contest, second on the roster in scoring. Cade Cunningham, he's averaging a team-high 27.5 points per contest. They're taking on a Chicago team who hasn't really rebounded all that well on defense. They're in the bottom 3 in defensive boards on the road. And as a team, the Bulls did lose their last 3 straight, and they allowed 125 points a game on average during that span. Now, injury-wise, Josh Giddey's questionable with an ankle. Keep an eye on him. Meanwhile, for the Pistons on the other side, Thompson is out. Cunningham and Stewart are battling lower body injuries. I am optimistic, however, that Cunningham will end up suiting up. Detroit with overs in 4 out of their last 7. Chicago games went 5-2 to the over in their last 7 themselves. I like the Pistons +1 over 234.5. Bucks Hornets 7 o'clock East. Milwaukee's -5, totals 232. The Bucks are 7-4 on the year. Charlotte just 3-7. More recently, the Hornets are on a 3-game losing streak, just 1-6 straight up in their last 7. And a big problem for the Hornets has been defensive play. They're allowing 121 points a game, bottom 5 in defensive field goal percentage. And unfortunately for them, the Bucks on the other side, well, they're making over 50% of their attempts from the field, top 3 in shooting the deep ball. Rollins and Green, they're making well over 43% of their 3 balls. Giannis Antetokounmpo with 33 points per contest. Now, you do want to keep an eye on Giannis here this evening. He is battling some knee soreness, so we'll have to take a look at this one closer to game time. Meanwhile, for Charlotte, Williams, Ball, and Green are out for them. Hornets with overs against the Lakers, Heat, and Wizards. Bucks with overs in 64% of their games this season. I like the Bucks -5 over 232. Magic Knicks 7 o'clock East. New York's -3, totals 228.5. The Knicks are 7-3 on the year. Orlando just 5-6. And when it comes to offensive production, the Magic's definitely struggled a bit shooting the long ball. They're in the bottom 10 in offensive 3-point percentage. They're facing a New York team who's done a nice job on defense. They're actually allowing just 106 points a night at MSG, top 3 in defensive boards at home. Of course, as a team, New York currently finds themselves in the middle of a 5-game winning streak. Covered the number in all 5 of those victories. Robinson's out for the Knicks. Mo Wagner scratched for the Magic. Orlando games went 4-2 to the under in their last 6. Knicks with unders against the likes of Washington, Miami, and Boston. Give me New York -3, under 228.5. Cavaliers Heat 7:30 East. Miami's -7, totals 238. The Heat 7-4 on the year. Cleveland 7-4 themselves. When it comes to offensive production, it's the Cavaliers who are leading the league in road scoring. They're actually averaging 125 points a night in their travels, top 10 in shooting the deep ball on the road. Sam Merrill's drilling 47% of his long balls. DeAndre Hunter with nearly 20 points a game for him. And they're facing a Miami squad who's definitely had their fair share of problems on defense. They're allowing 120 points a game, bottom 3 in defensive boards. Adebayo's been scratched for the Heat. Mobley, Mitchell, and Garland out for the Cavs. Cleveland with the overs in their last 4 straight. Miami with overs in 5 out of their last 8. I like the Cavaliers +7 over 238. Grizzlies Celtics 7:30 East. Boston 6.5, totals 230 and a hook. And both squads with losing records coming into today's matchup. Definitely with troubles on the offensive end of the floor. The Celtics are making just 30% of their three-pointers in the Garden, bottom 10 in points per game. Meanwhile, Memphis on the other side, they're in the bottom 5 in offensive field goal percentage, bottom 3 in offensive boards on the road. Zach Edey sat out Tuesday. Keep an eye on him. Javon Small has been scratched. Memphis games went 7-3 to the under in their last 10. Boston with unders in 6 out of their last 10 themselves. I like the under 230.5. Warriors Spurs 8 o'clock East. San Antonio's -4. Totals 229.5. The Spurs are 8-2 on the year. Golden State just 6-6. More recently, the Warriors dropped 5 out of their last 7. They've been terrible away from Oracle this season. Out of 7 games on the road, the Warriors took the loss in all of those contests except for one. And no real surprise here, folks. Golden State is a bottom 10 point scoring team in their travels. And they're facing a Spurs club on the other side who's definitely been tough to score against at home. They're allowing just 108 points a night in their own building, leading the league in defensive boards at home. Spurs with unders in 3 out of their last 5 in front of their own crowd. Warriors with unders recently against the Pacers, Suns, and Clippers. I like the Spurs -4, under 229.5. Blazers Pelicans 8 o'clock East. Portland 7.5. Totals 231. The Blazers are 5-5 on this season. Pelicans just 2-8. The Pelicans are allowing over 121 points a game. Bottom 3 in defensive field goal percentage, and they're facing a Portland squad who's had little problems on offense. It's actually 121 points a game they're averaging, top 10 in shooting from the stripe. Jeremy Grant drills 40% of his long balls, second on the roster in points. And Denny Adija with 25.5 points a night himself. Now, injury-wise, Scoot Henderson's been scratched. Zion's out for the Pelicans. Pels with overs recently against San Antonio, OKC, and the Clippers. Meanwhile, Portland games went 7-3 to the over in their last 10. I like the Blazers -7.5, over 231. Wizards Rockets 8 o'clock East. Houston's -16, totals 234.5. Houston's 6-3 on the season. Washington's just 1-10. The Wizards give up more points a game than any other team, dead last in defensive boards. And unfortunately for them, they're facing the best three-point shooting team in the league in Houston. Rockets are drilling 43% of their deep balls as a team, top 3 in scoring. Kevin Durant knocks down 41% of his 3 balls, club leader in scoring. Now Alperen Şengün, he's averaging 22 points a game himself. Houston contest went 7-2 to the over this year. Washington with overs in 64% of their contests themselves. I like the Rockets -16, over 234.5. All right, next contest, Suns Mavericks 8:30 East. Dallas is -1, totals 228. The Mavs are just 3-0 on the year. Phoenix 6-5. More recently, the Suns are on a 3-game winning streak, doing some good things on defense. Phoenix is currently in the top 10 in defensive boards per game. They're taking on a Dallas club who averages fewer points a game than any other team in the league. They're actually dead last in shooting the 3-ball. Matter of fact, Mavericks are making just 29% of their attempts from beyond the arc. Lively and Davis are questionable for the Mavs. Dallas games went 8-3 to the under in their last 11. 5-2 to the under this year on the road. I like the Suns +1, under 228. Lakers Thunder 9:30 East. Oklahoma City's -6.5, totals 229. OKC's 11-1 on the year, best free throw shooting team in the league. Thunder's making over 86% of their foul shots, top 5 in scoring. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, over 32.5 points a game for him, 90% shooting from the foul line. And Chet Holmgren, 59% from the field, over 19.5 points per contest. They're facing a Lakers squad who's definitely susceptible to the deep ball. They're in the bottom 10 in defending the field goal as well. Williams, Dort, and Wiggins sat out Tuesday for Oklahoma City. Keep an eye on those guys. When it comes to the total, 5 out of OKC's last 7 did get over the number. Laker games went 9-2 to the over for the entire season themselves. I like OKC -6.5, over 229. Hawks, Kings, 10 o'clock East. Atlanta's -3, totals 234.5. Hawks are 6-5 on the year. Kings are 3-8. And Sacramento, they've struggled offensively at home. They're in the bottom 10 in scoring on their own floor. When it comes to grabbing boards, they're in the bottom 3 in offensive rebounding as well. And they're facing an Atlanta team who's actually playing some solid defense on the road this year. They're limiting opposing shooters to just 31% from three land when they travel. No real surprise here, folks. They are in the top 5 in fewest points allowed on the road. Alexander Walker is questionable for the Hawks. Duricic is out. Hawks games went 7-3 to the under in their last 10. Sacramento with unders recently against Denver, Oklahoma City, and Utah. Give me Atlanta -3, under 234.5. And with that, folks, we're going to jump into our next and final breakdown for the video. Nuggets Clippers, 10:30 Eastern start. Denver's -2.5, totals 226. The Nuggets are 8-2 on the year. Clippers just 3-7. LA's averaging only 108 points a night, bottom 5 in offensive boards. And unfortunately for them, they're facing a Denver squad who definitely rebounds well on defense. They've been a tough team to score points against. As a matter of fact, the Nuggets are in the top 3 in fewest points allowed. Kawhi and Beal are out for the Clippers. LA's last 3 straight all fell under the total. Denver with unders in 5 out of their last 7. I like the Nuggets -2.5, under 226. And with that, folks, now it's time for our quick pick recap. I like the Pistons +1, over 234.5. Bucks -5, over 232. We're 3-0 in our last 3 Gold Club plays on my premium page. Knicks -3, under 228.5. Cavaliers +7, over 238. I like the under 230.5 in that Grizzlies-Celtics matchup. Spurs -4, under 229.5. Blazers -7.5, over 231. Rockets -16, over 234.5. Suns +1, under 228. Thunder -6.5, over 229. Hawks -3, under 234.5. And give me the Nuggets -2.5, under 226. And with that, folks, that's going to do it for me. Got to thank you for joining me right here on the free video. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my premium page.